I think it's pretty safe to say good evening. Now, in case you missed it, my previous stream, I started off with good evening, but it was 2 in the afternoon. So that's where that comes from. But let's see. What do I want to play? I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I want to play a game, but I just can't decide what's going to fit my niche. I know what I want to play. I want to play a football manager game, but a good one, which there aren't any. That's why I'm right. That's why I'm trying to create one. I don't know. Hopefully mine is a good one. I'm putting everything I want to see in a football management game, American football. But yeah, it's not. It's taking some time. I've been at it now. Let's see. You can see on my screen here, which by the way is the wrong screen for gaming. But I have now been at it for all. I'm still in it. I'm in my second year. All those numbers you see at the top, those represent the year, month, and day of work so far in it. It's not a combined, okay? So it's not 2 years, 21 months, and 91 days, because that would be weird, right? 91 days is 3 months. No. It is. I'm not even sure why that says 91 days at all. Oh no, the days are underneath it. That's weeks. So 91 weeks. I'm in week 91. This week is in this week ends tomorrow, I think. And I'm in year 2. Technically, I will be into year 3 starting in October, starting in November. And by then I will be on my 24th month. 21 months. I knew it was going to take a while. And honestly, I think when I started, I was of the mindset I might have a shot at getting it done in 2 years. That was my dream. I was hoping to have a prototype by the end of a year, a demo by the end of a year, and have the game done at the end of 2 years. Well, I don't even have a demo yet. So I'm in it. I'm finally doing the part that matters. Okay, so I built the infrastructure, took a long time to build. The key elements took a long time to build. That's the game plan, the roster, the league creation, and the playbook. And now I'm working on the next most complicated thing. Well, okay, I think it's probably the most complicated thing. Just the other stuff was just very structurally intensive, but it was all within my expertise levels. These are the things I could make out in my head. I can guide and define what I wanted. It was really pretty easy, and it didn't require me to have artistic skills. It had to have logic skills. But then I had to start doing the Unity parts, and so I had to create ways to make it look good and build up and show and display. And I think I've done a lot. I feel like there's a ton, even in Unity. And it doesn't look bad. I think it looks okay. It is AIR. If you know anybody who wants to help me replace AIR, please do let me know. They have to like American football and want to get in on it for free. But they will get paid and compensated, assuming the game makes money. But I can't promise anything. So it's a chance to maximize your portfolio. So check it out. Let me know what you think. And if that's something you want to do, hey, I am me. But anyway, beyond that, I am currently looking for something to do on a Friday night, Saturday night. Well, tomorrow will be Saturday night. Now, it won't be Saturday night. I'll probably play Saturday day. My game time has been relegated to Friday nights and Saturday morning, afternoon. Sometime between Friday night and Saturday afternoon, and that's kind of my zone. And if I go do something Saturday morning with my wife or kids or whatever, then Saturday's toast. Or if I come on a little late. Okay, so I'm supposed to stop working. I try to make sure I stop every Friday at 5:30ish and be done. But I'm trying to get it to the point where there is certain stuff that has to go into each play, and I keep coming up with ideas on how to optimize my play flow so that when the game is processing every play, actions can happen when they're supposed to happen, and we have these different points of a game. And players do what they're supposed to do or not do at every given point that they're supposed to. I There's just a lot of things involved, and so I keep trying to clean that up. And I had ideas, and I had to fix it because the next thing I need to do is render the kick. I've got it. I've got it rendering lineup now. If assuming I've done my right work with the lineup, players right now are going to always go, no matter what the play is, they should come in and line up correctly. So now I got to render the actions that are involved in the kickoff. Once I can get a kickoff to kind of look like a kickoff, then I'll go on to the first play of the game. And then I'll finish all of those skills and skill checks and tests. Yeah, well, how you sensed? You sensed. It probably told you, because I'm pretty sure it says so-and-so has gone live. But anyway, so as I do, I always start off talking about my game. It's not always something that people want to know. Because I'm doing this. I'm gaming. I said game time, probably. So I've considered, if for no other reason, these are expensive games, so I don't know if I can do anything with them, but so I look at a lot of these games and I'm thinking, my neck really hurts, so I'm trying to fix my posture. You'll see me keep hunching over. What is going on there? That doesn't even look like what is going on with this game? I don't know. It's interesting. Buy Football Tactics and Glory Quadruple Deluxe. Huh. I don't know. Anyhow, so I certainly don't sense that you're dreaming about watching me play a game. Something got you going, sense that I was streaming. You probably also have quite the history of knowing I typically stream on Friday nights. You're crypt. I stream on Friday nights. Usually at this time I'm online. Now I don't always do anything useful. that is a common problem for me. I'm always looking at other games to see what they're doing. What's the latest thing people are up to? Man, my neck really hurts. I have a big old knot in my shoulder right here. It's not good. I'm constantly trying to dig in there. I need to get some of that what do they call it? Like metho whatever the heck it is. Stuff you put on your shoulder, and you do too. You've been around a few times. You don't even know the days of the week. Okay. That's a different problem altogether, I guess. But if I can drill my fingers into my shoulder in the right spot, the pain literally goes away. But if I let go of it, it stops. It starts hurting again. Of course, it kind of hurts while I'm drilling my fingers into it. And then, of course, my arm gets tired drilling my fingers in. All right, let's go see. Let's go see how my college football team is doing. Why not? How are they doing? Well, they're not doing anything unless I kick it off, because this is not one of those games that auto runs. So that's kind of a thing. So I'm only in week 7. This is a terrible season. It's interesting. My very first season, I don't know if this is the way it's meant to lure you in, right? The game goes, oh, let's let him win a few extra in the first season, and then we got him. And then my team just sucks for the rest of the time. I'm 3-3. I don't know what happened. I was 8-2 or something last season, and I am not doing good this year. I'm actually doing really bad. And I don't know that I did anything necessarily wrong. At least I don't think I did. But I mean, I had guys who graduated and they had to move on. I um, so this game's got pretty good reviews. And honestly, the more I play it, the less I understand why. It doesn't really have a lot going on. I mean, I guess if you enjoy the every week clicking on this and trying to get the recruiting battle of these guys, okay. um, but I'm not seeing it, honestly. I think it's kind of fun to watch the games. It's got this. Okay, so here's their game plans. Game plans are pretty. They got a lot of little. I want to try and do what? Secure tackle. What can you do here? Focus on strip. Okay, so you give your guys something to do. How good are they at it? Will depend, I guess, on their skill. I don't know. But this is how you define your game plan. This is what you're focusing on. It's um I don't know. I just think it's very I don't know. It just feels like there's not much to it. I mean, the game plan feels interesting to say the least. I do kind of like the tempo thing. I could see trying to play higher tempo. Maybe I'll have to think about putting something like that in my game at some point, but I don't know. This is like it's a very like overview form of game planning. It's no it's generic because it doesn't really care about the situation that you're in, right? So it just says do this and apply it to everything, which not all things are universal, right? You wouldn't go heavy duty if you want to you would if you focused on passing all the time, your team would never be able to adjust for, having a good lead. You would want to start running more, right? You want to burn the clock. You want to start securing the ball. You want to be different. So game situations with leads, you would probably run more. Game situations with when trailing might be different. You'll be passing more. This game doesn't let you do any of that. Depth chart. Okay, so I get it. Depth chart is one of those things that you need to have, but a lot of these games, and I don't think so far I haven't been able to prove that this game is any kind of an exception, rarely make it so that your low level draft or low level players ever move up the ranks. If it's really close, they might move up one or two. Like you might get a freshman that has good potential that could maybe jump a couple of notches over the next guy, but you're not going to have a guy who comes in at 70 with high potential and ends up being a 90. It's just not going to happen. No matter how you train them. In fact, you don't even get it really trained. There is no training. In fact, with this league, you have practice, which means nothing. It actually says does nothing. Let's see. Running practice is purely to learn about your team. There is no bonus. there's no there's no effect to your team. So it's like do it or don't do it. Whatever. It's just understanding what your guys might be good at. Um, I don't know. I mean, what can you do? See, select offensive play. Let's see. I want to select. Let's see a Hail Mary. Sure, we'll select a Hail Mary, and then we'll go select defensive play. We'll go ahead and select a nickel. A nickel? Sure. No, prevent 3 deep. Let's see which one wins on my team. Why not? And then what do I do? What? Okay, fine. What do I do? Close it? How do I close this? So I have to go click. All right. Oh, there's two of them. All right, sure. Run practice. So offensively, I did terrible. So let's go ahead and let's see if I don't run a prevent deep. Let's go new practice. All right, so we're gonna go select play, and we're gonna go Hail Mary, and we're gonna go. What if I do this against? Let's not do Hail Mary. Let's just say deep pass, and we'll do shotgun spread. Okay, so then we're gonna go here, select play. Let's see here. Let's go with the. Nah, go. Let's go dime. We'll try to do a cover 3 press. Why not? I don't know. It looks like a defensive play that can handle this, right? So we'll run practice. 5.7 yards. That's not the worst result. I think what could be happening is this guy's getting the ball a lot. Because if you look at the way this matches up to this guy's way short, that guy goes way long. So your receiver here is popping into this hole over here and probably getting some yards. That's why he's getting around 5 yards. That's all I can. That's what my presumption is. But again, I don't know how much this game actually runs. I don't know how much of this game actually runs players. I don't know if it's saying this play matches up to this play in a certain way. We'll give it some odds and yards. See, I think a lot of these games do stuff like that. It makes it really simple. You just say this type of play matches to this type of play. Bam, we're just going to give it this yards. It doesn't matter even if you create your own plays. Like this one, I think has a playbook where you can create your own plays. Now, I don't know. I'm not going to say for sure, but there is no execution that you ever see of these plays. You don't ever see players running on the field. So, for all you know, a corner strike is nothing more than, okay, corner strike versus this type of play gets, these odds of success, and it's going to be able to get a range. And maybe they just do a pretty smart calculation for every type of play. I say pretty smart. I assume pretty smart. But they go, okay, match this play to this play, and it calculates to give this range of yardage, and then we run that range of yardage and we print it. Now, you might even consider all of the players you have, right? So it's like the quarterback might throw a pass. Maybe it randomly picks a player, or I don't know. I don't know how all that stuff is happening. I don't know to what extent their logic is actually executing yardage plays. Is it really, are players really going out, and is it finding someone in that area? Is it doing something that says, oh, there's a player here and a player there, the odds of the tackle, the breakup comes better or not? I don't know what it's doing. You don't know. Nobody knows because it's really hidden logic. You don't get to see anything happen on the play. All you know is that's the play that was called, and then it just moves the bar, or maybe the bar moves, maybe it doesn't. You don't know why it failed. They are giving all the players some kind of result, but there could just be a bunch of logic that says it's a running play, give some yards to the running back. He gets 4, whatever. Just that's his 4. Was it because you had good blocking? What logics are they throwing in there that makes everything that's happening real? You don't know. That's the problem with bar logic like this. Bar logic being these games that let's see, auto assign recruiting actions. Let's go ahead and auto assign recruiting actions again. Can I schedule a visit? Let's schedule. Do I want this guy? I don't want that guy. What the heck? Let's go ahead and go to I like the best overall. Let's go look at the overall. Because to me, that's what matters. I mean, look at this. There's a lot of mediocre players in here. To me, I mean, probably because I'm bad at school. I don't care, but I can't schedule a visit with these guys. Not an option. I can schedule a visit with him, and I'm sort of winning. So let's go ahead. Oh, see potential. Fine, whatever. Why not? Houston. Probably not going to beat Houston. Last year I was like, sure, I'm gonna have a terrible year. I'm gonna lose every game, and then I had a great year. And this year I'm like, hey, I might be pretty good, and then I totally didn't do well. it was not a, it was not impressive. I don't know how I ever get this one. All right, let's do the rest like that. Okay, so we're gonna go. Let's go to the week's dashboard. What do I have left? Um, my team. I don't know. I just feel like you don't really have that much control. I mean, this is important. I got a good chunk of freshmen, so that means I should improve, assuming my freshmen are any good. Um, it all comes down to how good you draft, right? And this is what you have. Honestly, the program has a better recruiting system. It's a phone version of a game. I don't know. Something's odd about this one. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but I played the program for 13 seasons, which is not a lot. And it doesn't mean I'm even done with it. It just means eventually you start to realize that the only thing that's appealing to you is if you're playing a game and it's got like X amount of features, but only one is really the thing you keep coming back to, that's a problem, right? You need to make the other stuff in the game enjoyable, right? What's fun about the game to you? Is it just recruiting? Well, if that's the case, then great. Some of these games, this game has okay recruiting, I guess, because you get to really get into it, but you run the game and you come back and you recruit for the next season. You come back, run the game. That's kind of what happened with the program. It has training, though, which actually has an effect. Here, the training you only do at the beginning of the season, and then there's nothing. So the whole season through, you don't do squat in terms of training your players. There is a, what is it? Game plan, I think. Is this the one? Yeah. So a game plan, you can kind of change this, but this isn't really, your players aren't improving as a result of this. This just lets you, try to match coaches to your style. It just, it doesn't really let you, there's not much you can do with it. You don't have, you just have coaches doing whatever. I mean, there's no, I don't know. The program at least makes you feel like the stuff you do during the season matters, because it seems like this game, the stuff you do during the season has no bearing. You will have improvements, but it only happens at like the end of the season or the beginning of the season. There's no mid-season push or momentum or nothing. There's just nothing. That's what I'm saying. The game doesn't have a sense of aliveness during the season. It has no, whoo, man, I might be, my guys are getting, they're really getting their confidence up. I mean, some of these players may have something like that because the players have um, various um, special abilities that allow them to be maybe a little more flexible or a little bit better at certain parts of the game. But it doesn't really give you I don't know, it just doesn't give you a sense that what you're doing really has that much matter in the game. That's it. Your decisions, I mean, yeah, you can adjust your play. And I guess if you know how your players are playing, you can maybe tweak and maybe it'll make a difference. I'm guessing the game plan stuff you do might make a difference, but it feels very like, how do I know? It's kind of arbitrary. I just feel like it's arbitrary. See, that's one of the things I want to build into my game, and I haven't figured out exactly how yet, so I'm not promising anything. But I want to build into my game uh, a way of letting you know that your decisions matter, right? So the stuff you train your guys is, or like if maybe you're training your guys to be really good at tackling. I want the game to call out that your tackling is good or it's improved, or there's it should tell you that your tackling success rates are going up if you're focusing on tackling. If you're focusing on your QB's, I don't know, rush awareness, which is to say they don't get sacked as often, it should show that he's really done a good job at improving his sack rates. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you're a terrible quarterback, you might get sacked a lot, but there's improvement in getting sacked a lot less. So if you get sacked 8 times in a game because you're a terrible quarterback, and suddenly you're averaging 6 and then you're averaging 4, it means you're getting better at not getting sacked. Now, if he's bad at everything else, maybe he's still throwing a lot of incompletions, but it should show improvement in the areas that you're focusing on, and it needs to give you a way to know whether or not that's making a difference. Now, you're playing against different teams, right? You could play the worst teams. If you play the worst sacking teams in the league and you give up 8 sacks, and then you play the best sacking team in the league after 6 weeks of trying to work on your sacks and you give up 7 sacks, you improved because that was the best sacking team versus the worst sacking team. Now, hopefully, if you play the worst sacking team again on week 10 after week 1, and you hopefully would improve. Maybe you're down to 3 sacks or 2 sacks or no sacks. I'm just saying you should be able to get a sense of improvement in your team by focusing on the different things in the game. And that's what I want to build that into mine. I haven't figured out how, but I'm keeping track of all the stats. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to store a lot of stuff, and I'm just going to keep coming up with ways to provide feedback on your players, how they're doing in certain areas, what their strengths and weaknesses are, allowing you to maybe train your players in specific ways. But again, their potential, there's a lot of things that can have an effect on what they can actually accomplish, and it's a little bit random. But I want to have the game allow for potential in my game, which is I believe rare. I won't say it's non-existent. It's rare in quite a few games to be fluctuating. So if a player is succeeding on a regular basis, their potential goes up. It could go up a lot. I don't know. Something's kind of message I can't read. Anyway, so you have the what was I talking about? I was talking about how I want to have the players have all this information to go with it. So it's Dream. I haven't got it all in there. I'm going to store all the stats. I'm going to give you reports. So when you're in the training, you can look at players and then assign maybe groups of players to different things. Typically, you don't say, hey, you and you go do this, and you go do that. I don't believe that's how football works. Usually they have like, hey, our team is having this problem. have the players focus on this for this week. Defensive coordinator saying, "Hey, we're not stripping the ball enough, so you have all your players work on stripping the ball." That kind of thing. You're working on the things um, that matter in terms of your team's ability to accomplish for yourself. And I want all the players, the ratings to reflect what you've been training to some extent. So that's what I'm saying. There's all these different things involved. And some skills might, like, say, stripping the football is not really a skill. I mean, it can be in a sense, but I think in well, that's not true. In my game, there are things that affect your success rate at things like stripping the ball, or recovering the ball, or breaking big plays, that kind of thing. I have logic in there that makes those things better chance. But I may even have some specifics, like, you know, this happens in this scenario, this happens in that scenario. You'll see. It's going to be interesting. I'm hoping this year, I'm still hoping to get my demo. I'm getting close. I'm working on the actual sim, which is the last step. I wanted to do a demo. And then over the course of the next months and weeks after that, I'll be starting to implement more stuff, like the probably training. That's because I want to get all the stuff that involves running through a season, right? You need to do training. You need to be able to do free agency. Those kind of things are the first parts of a season, right? So anyway, that's kind of what my goal and objectives are. Now you know. Now you know. Um, defensive line coach. Let's go sue defensive coach. Man, these guys are not good. I don't want. Let's go here. What's a recruit rating? Whew, man. See, some of these are gonna be really hard. I failed big time. I tried to get a big QB in on my team last year. I did not get him. I've been trying to get a decent QB, but like this guy, he's an 1800. I don't see how I have any chance of getting him. I mean, it's a big bump, but this guy's probably doing the same thing. And it's hard when you're, how about interest in Colorado? No, that ain't going to do me any good. Potential. Eek. Not a lot of high potentials. What about this guy? I already did a thing with him. How about him? A plus potential. I would love to get a 5-star recruit, but I think my odds of that are slim to none. I'm not really thinking there's much of a chance at a 5-star recruit. There's an A minus. What is he, a linebacker? Huh, I got a chance with him. Let's go ahead and do that. Do I even know what these guys are? Can I beat this team? I don't know if I can beat that team. All right, let's go ahead and do an auto assign for the rest. And you just have to click on these, which, whatever. Let's see what is, does it tell me a little bit about my opponent? I think, how do I find this? The dashboard? I think I have to go to advanced game link. Ah, no. There's a thing here. Somewhere there's a thing that tells me a little bit about my opponent. Thought it was game plan here, but huh. Practice? Oh, here it is, Arizona. Okay, so Arizona's 3-3. Uh, they have wow, they have some high talent. I'm not even in their ballpark. I think my team is Like 70. That guy's a 3 and 3. Jiminy Criminy. What do they do more? They pass a lot. They like to pass. 279 yards. Let's do downfield. What is it? Opponent yards per game, 435. Let's go downfield, yeah. Sure. We'll do that. Why not? What's the worst that can happen? I get creamed? Yeah, that's probably the worst that can happen. I'm one down. I guess it could be worse. Yeah. All right, so we're going to go skip, prefer, defer. All right, so we're going to sim until, we'll sim until end of game. Oh, I don't want to do that. Cancel. How do I, what was the thing that let me sim? Oh, there was a thing that let me sim at a speed. I just wanted to sim. Is it auto sim? Clock will be automatically management skipping ahead. Default is edit these subs tabs before. That doesn't do me any good. I don't want that. Where's this? It had a thing that said I could just sim, and then I would say how fast I wanted to sim. But now it only has this sim until thing. Oh, is it up here? Let's see. Impact subs, call play. Huh. Last time I accidentally simmed the entire game. Like, I just want to do a sim speed. Where's sim speed? Where you just sim at a medium speed. They changed it. They did an update and broke it. I don't want to like, I just say auto sim. Oh, here we go. Medium. There we go. Let's do that. All right, so this is, what is the score? 0-0. All right, so we got a little bit of a game going here. I'm well, we're still early in the game. Who's got the ball? Me? Yeah. I think I'm blue. Am I blue or am I the other team? I think I'm gold. Colorado's gold. Okay, so I'm moving the ball. Yay! Move it some more. Oh, come on. Yeah, first down. All right, we're going to drive down there. Score it. Take it in, buddy. Yeah. Woo, woo. We are up 7-0 on the 3-3 Arizona Wildcats. Is that what they are? Arizona something. Oh, it says Wildcats right there. guess that is it. Hey, we're driving again. Oh boy, we're bringing it in, folks. We're bringing it in. 14. We are ahead. So, I mean, you can have fun with anything if you really want to. I don't know if what my players are doing for anything. He's trying to drive on me. Is he going to score? He's working on it. Quarter's over. Field goal. It could be worse. It's not much of a return. Did it move? Come on, go forward. Yeah, first down. All right, so some people like the idea of this, right? So they could just keep simming through games. It's kind of sort of interesting to watch the bar, but you just watch I mean, really all it says is so-and-so ran the ball, right? It's not telling you much. I mean, yes, you can go look at stats and see how defenses are doing. But it still feels like, I don't know for sure. They're doing a good job of marking it. So there's obviously a number of things that have to be occurring in this game for it to actually be, keeping track of all these stats. Because you have to be giving all the players something. But what do you need to know? I mean, do you know if the players are making their blocks? Do you know that? Is it just one massive check against? I mean, it doesn't even tell you if a player's making their blocks. There's nothing like that. Defenses just tell you, you know, whether you stopped them. So there might be a test that adds up all of your blockers and all of your rushers, and then you go success, fail. Okay, did he sack? You know, that kind of thing. You know, it might even be just an attempt on a sack, and then everybody does math, and then it just sack or no sack. And if it fails, then the run play succeeds, or the pass attempts, or whatever. So I don't know. It's just not the same. I like to be able to see a game. I'd rather watch guys going up and down the field like Big Win football has less going on behind the scenes than this does, but at least you know it's you see the players moving. You know what's happening. You know your blockers are doing something because you can see when guys break through. You know what's happening. Who failed their block. Now, granted, you have no control over it. There's no training or opportunity to do anything about it. But well, I am wrecking this team. So that's good for me, I guess. Well, they're driving on me. They're trying to make it interesting. If they keep scoring, but they have 1 quarter left, but it is only 11 points. I have actually blown leads in this game. I don't know if I've blown this big a lead, but it's not like they're completely shutting me down at this moment. Oh, they did make me punt, though. Truthfully, if they did manage to score again, I could be in trouble here. Oh my gosh, did I fumble the... Dude, what just happened there? How'd I get... Oh, they stopped them, they punted, and I'm back on the field. Interception. Wait a minute, it said Colorado intercept. Oh, I threw an interception. Holy moly, I'm trying to lose this game. I am trying my darndest. Well, at least we kicked us back. I can't move the ball forward anymore. There's only 3 minutes left, though. And my defense is holding up. They're trying to stop. They're trying to stop. They're calling timeouts. It doesn't look good for them. I finally think I field goal. Yeah, all right. So that's gonna lock it down. He's got to score 2 times in 1 second. That's not gonna happen. 3:24. All right. So yeah. So we pulled it off. We tried to make it more interesting than it should have been. But he got a lot of yards, 285 yards passing, so I didn't really stop him. He threw the ball 33 times. I actually did better per pass than I did. How many sacks did I get? Did I get any sacks? This is was this just pass, rush, first downs, turnovers? We both turned it over twice. I did have time of possession. You would think I would have had more yards. Oh, I did have a lot of yards. Good grief, how many rushing yards? I had 200 yards rushing. Holy moly. That is a huge week. Where's the rest of my stats? That's it. Where's the defensive stuff? Oh, here we go. Box score. Here we go. Let's see. Rushing stats. Fowler. Only had 95 yards. I just had a lot of rushing yards from a lot of different guys. Look at that. 95, 61. I didn't have a dominating running back, but it wasn't really anything that looked all that dominating. I mean, 379 yards is good, but only had 2 touchdowns and an interception. It was it was a team effort. We'll call it a team effort. Nothing overly impressive, but did we at least get decent sacks? 6 sacks. That's a good week. 6 sacks in a week. How many did we give up? We only gave up 3 sacks. Well, that's important. I don't know what TFL stands for. What is that? Tackles for loss. Oh, okay. How many tackles and how many for losses? This guy had 3 tackles for a loss. That's pretty good. So overall, I think we did pretty good there. So we're now up to 4, 4-3. At least we have a winning record. That's gotta take what you can get, man. It's like it's not overly impressive, but at least it's something, right? Look, every team in the league will tell you it's better to have a winning record than a losing record, even if that's only 9-6 in the end of the season. It's not great. Oh, well, that's professional, right? So it's really be like 11-5 or 6-5, because there's only like 11 or 12 games in college, right? Unless you have playoffs or something. I am at this point likely not to make any kind of a bowl or anything. Last year I made it to a bowl game. In fact, I think I even won my bowl game. It was some random low grade nothing bowl game, but still, I'll take it. 32. I got ranked last year. I was ranked. I think I even got ranked to like 10 or 9 at the end of the season. But that's another thing. Can you go back and look at previous seasons? I don't like games that don't let you look at previous seasons. Honestly, I think it's dumb if they don't let you look at previous seasons. Let's see. All right, 2026. I have 2025. Let's see how I finished. All right, so I was number 13 when all was said and done. 11-3. Did I win my bowl game? Does it say? Title. Fresno State. Oh, I destroyed Fresno State in the bowl game. Alamo Bowl. 33-10. I just wrecked them. I wrecked Fresno State. But I actually had a pretty good. I mean, I only lost 3 times. Second game was 1-1. After that, I won a bunch. I was 6-1. Man, I had a great season last year. Like right now, for me to match last season, I would have to win the rest of my games. I'd have to finish 11-3. I'd have to have a serious winning streak to make it look interesting. Like I started off rank. I got up to 11 in rank, and then I was 11, and then somehow I dropped to 13. Oh, probably because I lost to Texas Tech. The Big 12 championship. If I would have won that, that would have been great. I would have probably accelerated. Beating Fresno State probably didn't mean much. Well, the thing is, I dropped to 16, and then it says I moved up to 11. Oh, no, I was 11 when I played them. No, weird. Okay. I was 16, moved up to 11. I was still 11 when I played Fresno State. And then I fell. I found something, ended up 13. I don't know. It's probably other teams winning, beating better opponents. Who knows? That kind of thing. But yeah, it's not likely that this team ends up being anything close to that. Like I said, I have to win all my games. At 4-3, 5-3, 6-3, 7-3, I'd have to win 5 straight games. Let's go to the news. And today's news, we have. Probably doesn't mean much to have anybody. I don't have anybody in this stuff. My team is just not good. But I like to go look at my, I think I'm Pac-12. No, I'm not, am I Pac-12 or Big 12? I must be Big 12. Woo! Big 12 rankings 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm 10. 10 out of 12, right? Is that right? 10 out of 12. I'm number 2 in my. There's a lot of teams in the Big 12. There's 16, so it's 10 out of 16. I'm number 2 in my conference. Yay! But I think I've already lost to Kansas State. I've lost to a lot of the teams. I mean, last year I was 8-1 in my conference. I think that's my record now, 3-2. Kansas State's number 1, so I'm right behind. Well, look at all this. All of us are 4-3 except for Arizona and Kansas, 5-2 and 5-2. So technically, I'm in it for the conference. I have to figure out how to turn it around though. Let's see, Colorado and Arizona combined for 960 yards in a game where offense reigned. The Buffaloes passed for 379, rushed for 201 more, and their defense was able to get to the quarterback, earning 6 sacks. Colorado moved to 4-3 in the season. Arizona fell to 3-4. How are we doing with the defensive player of the year? Nobody in the running. Do I have anybody kind of in the running? Nope, nobody kind of in the running. I do have a QB who's 9th in the running for player of the year. Wow. And then freshman of the year. I have none of that. Nobody's in the running for that. I have a thing to get somebody to do well here. Look at this. Look at this. TCU and Kansas both have. TCU's got 3 people on this list. Holy moly. Kansas has got 2. I mean, they're basically dominating the entire list. The cheaters. Share the glory, man. Don't be so stingy. They suck. You suck. Oh, you suck. Why are you taking all the glory? You're not even sharing it with us peons. I mean, to be fair, I need water. Be right back. Why am I going anywhere? Alrighty. Alright, so what other game can I play for a bit? I don't know what this RimWorld is. That's $35, so I can't afford it. I don't know if I need to actually get another game. Battletech. Panzer Corps. 60 seconds re-atomized. Wow. Overwhelmingly positive. What is that? Dark Comedy's back, remastered and even more radioactive than before.
How do you do, fellow family? What was that, Ted? I can't hear you over the sound of the nuclear bomb alarm. The nuclear bomb alarm? There. Remain calm. There is plenty of time. Take cover. You've got 60 seconds. Make it count. Soup, water, supplies, and everything nice. Oh, I almost forgot. Make room for the family. 3, 2, 1. Duck and cover. Welcome to your fallout shelter. Make yourselves comfortable. You will be staying here for a while. It's time to ration food and water. Send expeditions to nuclear wasteland. Cope with unexpected situations, making decisions that will affect your future. And maybe survive. Or... Well, hello there, Ted, Dolores, Marriage, and little Timmy, a true post-nuclear family. It might just be the fallout, but you folks are positively glowing. Enjoy living the radioactive American dream. Government not to communicate with the complete, but it can deliver on those new boosts and nights.
Huh. So, like, I'm assuming they sent out little Mary Jane to go do the check on the world. So what happens if you don't, like, get there in time? Time to jump. Can you imagine? Even having a fallout shelter is, I don't know. How does that work? You need to be able to figure out a way to... I don't know. I don't know how that would even work. How much is this game? It's $10. How many days do you have to be underground? Day 2. I mean, that's not very long. I would imagine the little girl who's pretty heavy there would get thinner. What to take outside? Oh, wait, what? Little Timmy didn't come back? Not looking too good. Not giving them anything. No food. I just want to watch the video of what they're doing. Hey, little Timmy's back. Thirsty. That is like that would be a terrible fallout shelter. I mean, you gotta, how long do you have to live in a fallout shelter at least before you could even think about going outside after a nuclear blast? I would say probably 10 years. I mean, you gotta be underground for years, I think. Right? I mean, I I mean maybe even decades. It's like, did you ever see Blast from the Past with Brendan Fraser? How long would a person have to live in a fallout shelter before they could even consider exploring outside of it? After a nuclear oh, first 24 hours. Stay inside, no exceptions, unless life or death. Fallout is most dangerous in the first hours. Official guidance. 24 to 48 hours. Radiation has dropped sharply, roughly to about 1% of its initial level. By 2 days, using the 7 to 10 rule. Every 7-fold increase in time. 10-fold decrease in intensity. Brief exits only if the shelter is falling or there's medical emergency. Initial fall is down to roughly 0.1% of its early level. This is the common 14-day shelter standard for when most routine outside movement becomes much safer. Still with caution, decontamination and preferably radiation readings. Short essential trips, water, checking structure, signaling might be considered after 7 to 24 hours. Kept to minutes with full skin coverage and contamination on return. More deliberate exploration scouting generally becomes more reasonable after several days to 2 weeks. So 2 weeks would be your best bet.
And little Timmy, a true American nuclear. How do you do, fellow family? What was that, Ted?
So you'd have to have some kind of a radiation. So Blast from the Past locked his family up for what was it, 30 years? Holy cow. His kid was a full-grown adult. That guy really locked in. I would say probably a month. You'd probably want to wait at least a month. I feel like 14 days is okay, you can give it a shot. But you still want to be kind of covered up, right? You would need to have probably some kind of radiation suits, and how would you want to do that? I mean, I'm just saying, how would that even look, you know? If you wanted to build a fallout shelter, what would be the plan? 30 days. I would feel like a person could survive 30 days with family, with people. But it'd have to be, gosh, it'd be hard. I'd want to, I feel like you'd want to be able to, you'd have to have the clothes for it, right? Like a nuclear blast outfit or something, you know, whatever the decontamination suits. And 14 days, you'd probably have to go out, right? You would just have to just get out. You can't really breathe. I mean, you don't want to like suck in a bunch of air, but at least be outside. You know, maybe if you have some kind of oxygen filter thing that can, you know, not let you breathe in any radiation. Probably over a month to 2 months. I mean, obviously, with such a short period, there would be survivors of a nuclear war. But the problem is, it isn't the single nuclear bomb problem, right? It's the entire contamination of the world. There'd be so many things destroyed, and the entire environment and ecosystem would be destroyed, that even if you could come out, there wouldn't be a lot out to to live, right? There'd be no animals for food. There'd be no farming. There'd be no food for food. You would have to have somehow some kind of hidden stock that would last you years. And you'd have to not look well fed because people would come after you and your stock, right? You'd have to make sure you look as grungy and starving and out of it as possible. You wouldn't want to be around people. People would be bad people. I mean, people all want to survive, and they would go after the haves if they are have-nots. You'd have to have weapons. It would be an ugly world. The world would be bad after a nuclear war. There'd be no. You wouldn't go out and go, "Hey, look, man, it's Charlie," and Charlie'd be like, "Hey, Bob, how's it going, man? Let's get together for dinner tonight. Hey, come on over to my shelter. We'll have you guys on." "Oh, no, we insist. Come over to our shelter. We got it covered." It's be none of that stuff. Everybody's going to be short. Everybody's going to be afraid of sharing. Everybody's going to be wanting, like, how are we going to get through this? I mean, how long? I mean, realistically, you'd have to have food, probably a year's worth of food. You would likely need at least a year of food, right? Even if you could go out, there would likely be no viable source of food. All right, so if you could get somewhere where it's possible food exists, so you'd want to keep a way to travel, a bike maybe. Bikes are not safe, right? I mean, you travel on a bike, you'd have to have bikes for the whole family. It'd be interesting. I mean, I'm not saying I want to by any means want to experience this kind of thing, but it'd be interesting to see a world like that, to see how people actually respond to their situation. I think a lot of survivors would panic. They'd be freaked out. They would go after people. They'd turn into psychopaths. They'd kill people and steal their food, and because a lot of those people wouldn't know what to do with themselves, so they would want to go take it from others. You would have to figure out a way. You'd have to have weapons. You'd have to be able to figure out a way to protect yourself. And how many people would be left? I'd imagine in most cases a nuclear war would wipe out most life, but not all. Would it be half the world that survives? I'd say half the world survives. In all out world war, I'd say half the world survives the nuclear explosion, and then they're all coming out after so long. It'd be something. They'd have some kind of protection. Many of them would be sick. A lot of them would die. After a few months, I think you'd be down to just the true survivors. But those first few weeks would be scary. Scary, scary, scary. Once people start not having once there's less people to go after you, less fear of death, of just nuclear problems, but there'd be so much famine and problems in the world. I don't know that you could. I don't know. I just don't know that it would ever. I think a lot of death from a nuclear war would come post-nuclear war. Not even from the radiation. I just think there'd be, of the half the people who survived the initial blast would probably die within a year. That's my thought. And well, who's left? I don't know. What kind of people are left? Are they the crazies that just killed everybody off? I don't think so. I think people who feed off other people in that scenario would eventually uh, they'd eventually die because they can't if they don't find people to threaten, to steal from. They would some of the surviving ones might do survivor ones might do okay, but I think most would starve to death because that kind of that kind of life is not a life, right? You're gonna if you can't fend for yourself, then you can't win. That's my that's what I say. You will not be an end goal survivor. I think it's quite possible that eventually people would find their groups and people to trust and build, and it'd be very much like just jumping back into, I don't want to say prehistoric times, but I say it would look a lot like falling back, 2,000 years, where there's just less people. And a lot of the stuff that exists now would be wiped because, for one, I think a lot of we'd be back to a time when all of our knowledge and skill and everything that we have would be lost. We'd lose a lot of we'd have some people who are smart, great doctors, but there'd only be a few left in the world, right? Much less. And would that knowledge propagate or continue over time without training, without people who know how to teach this stuff to other people, pass it on? People would have to learn to pass their knowledge on through their family. If the family even, if they have a surviving family, that would be a very difficult, like I said, it'd be very interesting to see how people manage in that world. People like this game. My son has this. It's overwhelmingly positive. It's kind of cool though to be able to build a store like this. I always wanted to open a store. I bet you would never guess what I was going to name it. Active Minds Games. It's the name of my business already, so. Hey, sprayed him with deodorant. Wish list on Steam. Don't need a wish list. It's already out, right? It's only $20. I got it for my son for he wanted it. It's a tiny store, man. Tetramon. Huh. I think tournaments are the best way to get people into a store, honestly. Tournaments, game nights, but this is a TCG store, so they only sell TCGs. So it's not a game store, which there's very few TCG stores. I don't know that there are any that just focus. There are a lot of stores that, even though they sell a lot of other products, they focus on TCGs. Which really, if you really think about it, there's only like two: Pokemon and Magic. I mean, there's others, and people will get into them and buy stuff, and that's what you're selling. But I guess right now there's a pretty big one. My son's playing called. He plays One Piece, but that's not the big one. The other one is it's the one by Riot. I forgot what it's called. Rune Wars or Rune, I don't know, something. I don't remember what it's called. Is there a are these downloads or follow Opneon? Opneon. So I guess I didn't really play too much. I played I played football a little bit. Supermarket. I don't know. TCG Card Shop Simulator. I Supermarket, huh? So I have a game in design. I've already kind of started scoping it out, but it's a board game. And the reason it has to be a board game, it can't be a video game. The reason I say that is because the game uses it's called So You Want to Be a Game Designer, or a game publisher, whatever. Uh, and it has all the phases of a game design to marketing, all the way up to, sales and marketing. And every different phase of the design to the production to marketing, distribution, whatever, they're all set up with a different game mechanic. So you got all the different board game mechanics in there, and each phase has a different mechanic. So there's like some trade mechanics, there's some deck building, there's all these different parts that have to be run throughout the game. And I kind of have each phase you go through, you have to go through these different mechanics. But it's not like you give up on a phase. It's just like there's all the phases have to happen, but each board game goes through every phase. So as you're publishing games, you're going through the different phases using the different mechanics. So the idea is that your goal is to get to evergreen games that are making money constantly, which helps you to publish and hire people to build more games. And you just kind of build this flow. And then the ultimate goal is to have, the most points, which would be whatever the game has. I didn't get to the point of setting up the final point system, but the idea is you'd be getting points for games that are basically, it's about how much money you're making, right? I mean, that's the whole goal of being a game publisher or a game designer. But that's why I wanted to be. I thought I'd call it. If you want to be a game publisher, their whole thing is Tetramon. It looks like on this one. I don't know what Tetramon's not real, but it's meant to be like one of those, magic, whatever. Bookshop simulator. Huh. Roadside research. Huh. What is that one? State gas station simulator. Wow. It's an interesting concept. A gas station simulator. Gas goop. Wow. Are they aliens? What the heck? Except you're aliens and undercover. Do very human things like restocking shelves while preparing for the invasion. Just don't get caught. Wow. Preparing for the invasion. Oops. They have some weird games, man. People come up with some weird stuff. So I've been wanting to try one of those space sims, but I'm waiting for money. Well, or for them to get cheap. I do buy an occasional game, even though I probably shouldn't. 2 Point Museum. Planet Zoo. Planet Zoo. Low budget repairs. House Flipper. X Foundations. Mostly positive. Very positive. Very positive. A lot of people made decent games. I don't know how many games are actually, because mostly positive is probably not as good as very positive, but still, Bookshop. Well, that's the one I just saw. That's a different bookshop simulator. Oh, no, it's not. Farming simulator. Huh. Car dealer simulator. I I don't know if these are all the same people making these games. It doesn't say. But I think you could probably once you have mastered once you have built a design for a game, like I think it's theoretically possible for me to turn my football game into a if I could create the simulation logic for the football game, I think it's possible I could turn it into a basketball game. But the thing is, I know more about football. I know the concepts and basics of football. I don't know those things for basketball or baseball or soccer. And plays are different. I mean, you have plays, I assume. There are soccer plays but baseball doesn't have plays, right? I mean, there's things you do, but they're not really plays. I feel like you know, I think baseball's boring. But I feel like I could probably simulate baseball before I could simulate basketball or soccer. The problem with games like basketball and soccer, I mean, football's super complicated. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's 22 guys on the field. It has probably the most players. I think there might be 22 guys on a soccer field too. But soccer's different. Soccer's got a flow that it's kind of like there's just a lot of interaction with the ball. You got to like scout players and who's open and have it logically know how to kick and there's gonna be a lot of control over the ball and a lot of the visuals for a game like that to be good would have to be yeah, see, I don't know. I mean, I think it's possible. I just don't know if it's reasonable to actually accomplish. I don't know that I could accomplish the logic for the play because I it would be totally different. And a lot of what you do is different. So you have all this information, who's good, but you also have to have things like ball control. How do you simulate ball control? I think a lot of games don't even bother with that. They just have you moving down the field, and if you're good, then you succeed at passing or you succeed at scores more. You know, you just got more success. But are you really like doing cool things with the ball? You know, are really good players really just backing up and going forward? And you have to give that logic and skill to all the players and give them a high percentage chance of success and just let them pick like randomizations, like how are you going to get away from this player? You know, you got to give AI logic to these players to know when to do certain types of kicks and types of things. And I I think it's plausible, but not probable that I'll try to do that. So I'm gonna have my football game. I'm gonna keep adding stuff to it, and then I have like 4 other games. I have a an AFK game that I want to build. I have a I have my Kingdom Run game, which I really want to work on. That might be number 2 for my second game built. The other one I want to build is my Ultimate Community Ladder, which is a pretty big deal too. I would love to get that going because that's cool because that involves a lot of people and it could just be a fun thing to have in existence. And yeah, I want to get that going. So those are all like 3 games that are going to be pretty major once I get my should I start making any kind of income at this. Do I think multiple could come out at once? It's really hard to develop multiple games at once. My football game and the AFK game are probably the most complex games. That's why I think it might be better for me to work on one of the smaller ones like Kingdom Run and the Ultimate Community Ladder. I think will go a lot faster. So I might be able to get those done in 6 months to a year each. A lot less graphics stuff. Um, yeah, I think those will probably be simpler games to build. Maybe a chance to do something smaller. But the AFK game will take some time. That's going to be a pretty big one. It's got a lot of things, a lot of logic, a lot of things that have to happen. But it's got a design in place. All of them have some amount of work done on them. Well, no, the AFK game does not. But Kingdom Run and the Ultimate Community Ladder do. Anyway, I'm going to sign off, man. A lot of chit chat, a little bit of football, a little bit of browsing the library.